Hey everybody, Ray here. I'm going to take you on a cold weather hike in camp. As you can see by the screen, it was pretty stinking cold out there. In the middle of this video, I actually have a confession to make, so watch for that. And if you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and thanks for watching. Well, despite the temperature, it's a pretty nice day for hiking. It's a pretty trail out here in Pere Marquette. And when you get out of the wind, it's not too bad. The wind chill is probably close to zero, if not below. But when you get past that, it's really pretty nice. Once you get out and get out of the wind, wind gusts are up to 30 miles an hour, so it can get pretty hectic. Two days before this hike, it snowed and it sleeted, and then it rained, and the rain started to freeze. And then yesterday, it was 46 degrees, so everything melted. So all of the melt off is running down the pass where we're walking, and it's extremely dangerous because now all that melt, because it got so cold today, has refrozen again. We have about a quarter of a mile to go on our hike, and look at that sunset. Isn't that beautiful? And I think we picked about the right amount of time for this hike to get home, get our fire going about dark. Well, we got a pretty good fire going. It is 14 degrees outside and falling. It's supposed to get down to 10 tonight. Got an 11-mile-an-hour wind, so the wind chill feels like 0 or 1 degree. But we're doing okay. We're fairly comfortable. Here's how we set up yesterday. Yesterday the high was 19 degrees, 30-mile-an-hour wind gusts. So we put a couple of our tarps up there as wind breaks. The wind breaks helped us to sit around the fire and enjoy it just a little bit more. This morning it's about 12 degrees. The wind has really dropped off, so it's not so bad out there. I got up and got a fire going so I can start some coffee. Brian, he's still sleeping on me. He sleeps in a little bit more comfortably than I do out here. It was cold last night. I'm going to take you through my sleep system and show you how I got through the night. The low last night was about 10 degrees, I believe. And I had to add a little extra to make sure that I was comfortable last night. So it's 10 till 8, been up for about an hour. The sun is just starting to come up. It's about 12 degrees out here right now, 10 or 12 degrees. Wind has died down substantially from yesterday. It was really windy yesterday. Got up, got a fire going, made myself some coffee. Pretty cold, pretty cold. But it's a nice quiet morning, staying warm by the fire. A nice winter camp out. I feel compelled to be honest with you, my friends. This wasn't the worst camp in the world, despite the fact that we had some pretty bitter cold and some high winds that made the wind chill even colder. But our main purpose here was to test out our ability to sleep okay in cold weather. So we selected a site that had a fallback option. We came up to Pere Marquette, state park in Illinois, and we stayed at the campsites here. But literally about a quarter of a mile away from us down the hill is a lodge. So our fallback position was, if it got too cold, we'd walk down to the lodge, and unfortunately they were sold out of rooms, but if nothing else, we'd sit in the lobby and warm up if we had to. So that was our fail-safe. And so yesterday, after we set up camp, got our fire set, ready to go, not started, just ready to go, we went and hiked around for a little while, and then rather than have freeze-dried dinners, we said, what the heck, we went down to the lodge and had a home-style chicken dinner that couldn't be beat, with mashed potatoes and corn and slaw and gravy and rolls. It was just great. And then we went over to, they have a little lounge there. We went into the lounge and we were able to watch the Packers game. Unfortunately, the Packers lost to San Francisco, but it was a good game nonetheless. Always enjoy a little football. And then we came back up here about 8:30 and cranked up our fire and stayed up till about 10 o'clock, or sitting around the fire and getting warm, and before we went into the tents to sleep last night. Good news is the cold weather systems worked out fine. I'll talk a little bit more about that. I had to double bag it because I don't have any bags that would keep me warm down to the single-digit temperatures that we were expecting. But what I did put together worked out fine. Stayed warm last night, and I've been up for about an hour and a half now. Brian, still sleeping. He knows that I'll be up getting the fire going, and his coffee's ready for him when he gets up. So it was a pretty nice evening, but I felt as though I should be clear about this is more glamping than camping actually on this trip. So knowing it was going to be pretty cold last night, probably down into the single digits, my sleep system consisted of a reflecting sheet, my air mattress, insulated air mattress with a thermarest over that. All of that is just tucked inside of a sleeping bag liner to keep it together. Then my 20-degree bag, and I slipped that inside of about a 30-degree bag that really, I just kind of zipped it up the bottom third, slipped that over everything, and then that served as a quilt. And I stayed plenty warm last night. So we're up here on the bluffs overlooking the Illinois River.
Right down there.
This is eagle season here. So with any luck, we'll catch an eagle flying. And if we're really lucky, I'll have the phone out to take a picture. Here for the eagles, I hope you can see this. There's two of them up in that tree right there. They are big, beautiful birds. It's some pretty hiking today. And about 20 degrees, just bright sun. It's cold, but in the woods here, out of the wind, it's pretty nice. But the path is really pretty, and I'm going to show you right up here. You come across some really nice places where the water was dripping down the rocks on the bluff and has frozen. I'm going to switch you around so you can see that. So all along these bluffs, you see these really pretty ice formations, and they're really kind of neat. Sun sparkles through them. Very enjoyable hike. I've talked about how pretty this ice is, But speaking of pretty, it's actually pretty treacherous because there are several patches of ice along the path that you have to be very careful of. I almost slipped a few minutes ago when I actually caught some of the ice with one of my hiking poles and it slipped out from under me. So you have to walk very gingerly when you get to these areas. In some places, the entire path is covered over with ice. So, whoop, I just slipped a little there. So I'm gonna stop videoing. Well, I really can't think of a better way to end this hike than the sunset we had just before we left. We packed up, we headed home. Of course, we had to stop for a cheeseburger, but it was a great hike. Hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.